Bionic Gloves presents the Hands-On Golf Podcast, bringing anatomy and hand function to the forefront of glove design to improve comfort, fit, and performance. Bionic is a division of Hilrich & Bradsby Company, makers of Louisville Slugger bats and ball gloves. Bionic gloves are the only gloves designed by a leading orthopedic hand surgeon, Dr. Jim Kleinert.
Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast. My name is Chaz Rao, and I'm here with Barry Bonifield at the Crescent Hill Golf Course in Louisville, Kentucky. Let's get into this week's question, and it comes in from James Marty. And he says, Chaz, your show has been extremely helpful, and your pros are very down-to-earth guys and are easy to follow. Well, there you go. That's Barry and Eric and Joe. Keep up the great work. I've been golfing on and off for years. I usually run in the high 90s to low 100s. I can't seem to make much improvement without spending lots of time on the course. Can you tell me the best way to improve my game with a limited amount of time? How much time should I expect to spend, and what should I focus on? Barry?
James, great question. Wish you had more time to be on the golf course, but in that you do not, a couple of key things for you to work on will be, number one, fundamentals. Make sure your grip is as good as you can get it, and I'll cover the grip with you. But then secondly, your short game will become preeminent. And what you want to do is make sure that you're good around the greens and on the greens. So I'm going to show you a very easy to remember chipping method that with just very limited practice you can become deadly around the greens.
Ooh, deadly.
Deadly.
That's a new one. We haven't used the word deadly yet in the podcast. So, James, thank you very much for your participation. And remember, just for you participating, you get a free Bionic glove. And if you would like to be in this podcast as well, all you've got to do is submit a story idea to podcast@bionicgloves.com and make sure that you have your full mailing address, whether you're right or left-handed, and what size of glove you wear. And if we use it, we will send you this, not my glove, but we will send you a glove just for your participation. So thank you all for your never-ending support, with your feedback on iTunes and on YouTube, and telling all your buddies about it. So thank you, and now let's go join Barry on the course to see how we can improve our golf game.
So James, here we are at the Crescent Hill practice area, and want to cover first with you the necessity and how to do a proper grip on your golf club. So I'm going to cover it with you quickly and give you a couple of easy to remember points. Remember, your only control over the club face and the head of the golf club is the way you hold the golf club. That's the only place you can touch it, is the grip of the club. And if you make that as good as you can, the rest of your golf swing will respond to the way you put your hands on that golf club. If not, you'll have to have a bunch of compensating maneuvers, and that gets far too complicated, especially with limited time on the golf course. So look down here with me, if you will, at my hands, and I'm going to give you a couple of easy-to-remember points. First of all, as a right-handed player, my left hand will go on the golf club first. I have to make sure my club face stays square while I do this, but I'm going to put my left hand on the club in such a way that the heel of my left hand is right on top of the club. And from where I'm standing, my thumb is going down the right side of this grip. And I should be able to see the top of my second knuckle just by looking down, the second knuckle on the back of my left hand right here. So when I look down, I can see the top of that second knuckle. And then I'm going to lift this golf club. I'm going to put my right pinky in between my index finger and second finger of my left hand. I'm just going to set it in there. It does not jam in or push all the way in. It just sets in there. And then my other fingers all go on the club, and my pocket of my right hand covers my left thumb where you can't see it. And so this line on my right hand should point between my chin and my right shoulder. Some players play with a little stronger grip where the hands move more to the right. Some play with a little weaker grip where both hands move to the left. But this is a fairly neutral grip, and this is your only control over this club face. I can't stress this enough. This is really important. So make your hands look like you see my hands looking, and you'll play better golf just from that. Now, the next thing will be, without a great deal of time on the golf course, your ability to be super precise will be limited. You already know that, and I know it as a golfer too. So you will tend, when you do play, to have shots that go awry. You're going to play a little army golf, left, right, left, and you're going to go to different sides of the green. Some days you'll hit the green, but when you do miss, you want to still be effective. the number one thing I see people do incorrectly is probably not the best way to say that, less efficiently than they could, is they tend to grab a sand wedge when they get around the green when they don't have to. So rule number one is get the ball on the ground as quickly as you can on the green and let it roll out to the hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a simple rule of thumb to follow when we're around the green. We're going to go to this flag stick right over here. I'm going to hit a couple of shots for you. And I have a 7-iron here. Now I have a basic chipping method that I use where I select a different club based on how far off the green I am. So here's the edge of the green here, and then I change clubs for each step or so. It's sort of an old-fashioned method, but it's really, really effective. So I'm going to be about 3 steps off the green here, so I'm going to use my 7-iron, but I might, if I was close and couldn't putt it, I might say a 5-iron there and a 6-iron here and a 7-iron here and an 8-iron there, and just gradually go up in loft as I get further away. I'm going to try to land the golf ball on the green about 1 long step or somewhere between 4 and 10 feet on the green. Okay? So I've got a golf ball here, and I'm going to chip to that hole right there. And here's the way it's going to look from where you are looking at me. I'm going to have the ball even with my right heel. And I'm going to set the club behind the ball. And I'm going to try to get my sternum, my swing center here, to the left of the ball. So I'm leaning on my left foot. If you'll notice then, too, I kind of keep the grip end of the club left of my zipper, which is to your right from where you're looking, but to the left of my zipper. And then I keep my hands ahead the whole time like this. What I do not do is this. I don't let my right hand pass my left. I keep the left hand out in front. And there's a real application for this, not only in the short game around the green, but also in the full swing. So let me show you how this works. I'll hit a couple of shots to that hole right there. And my goal, in that I haven't been as precise as I'd like, is to get it close enough to the hole that I can get a 1 putt. If I'm really good, I might chip it in. And so I'm just going to hit this on the green, let it roll down there to the hole. And that's about a foot away. And you can see I didn't work at that real hard. All I'm doing is trying to fly the ball over this fringe and have it land on the green here. I don't like landing it on the green any more than just a few feet, because then I have to judge the flight, I have to judge how much backspin is on the ball, and then how much it will roll. This way, all I've got to do is carry it a very short distance and only judge roll. I'm eliminating air time. I'll hit another one for you. At first, I aim that club face, get the ball even with my right heel. I keep my weight left and my swing center left of the golf ball. And you can see, I'm threatening that hole, and I've got the ball going close enough that a 1 putt is a guarantee. Rule of thumb, keep the ball out of the air except when necessary. Get the ball on the ground. If you'll practice this for a very short time, you will become deadly, as I alluded to earlier, around the green. And then your putting numbers will go down too, because then you're putting from closer to the hole. I recommend this to you, James. Work hard on that grip, and for further information on this, be sure to get with your PGA golf professional. Thanks, James.